Have you ever found yourself noticing patterns in relationships? And do you find that you're attracted to the same kind of person or situation over and over again? And do you find that you tend to get triggered emotionally in particular types of situations, and this triggers behavior and reactions in you that are quite different to how you might behave or act in other parts of your life? Well, schema therapy might be for you. My name is Dr. Sarah Ashton, and I'm a psychologist and the director and founder of Sexual Health and Intimacy Psychological Services. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about schema therapy. Schema therapy is one of my favourite therapies because I think it's so useful for understanding patterns within ourselves and how this influences our relationships and the world around us. And Jeffrey Young came up with a really great structure for understanding these patterns, and he calls these patterns schemas. So let's just talk a little bit about what a schema is. According to Jeffrey Young, a schema is a broad, pervasive pattern that comprises of memories, emotions, cognitions, and body sensations regarding oneself and our relationship with others that are developed during early childhood and or adolescence and are elaborated throughout one's life and are dysfunctional to some degree, so they cause some level of distress. And what Jeffrey says is that our the way that schemas are formed are resulting from unmet emotional needs. So as humans, we all have baseline human needs that we need in order to survive. These are not nice to have, these are actually things that we need in order to function. And these needs include secure attachments to others. So this is a secure attachment involves feeling safe, stable, nurtured, and accepted. And this is something that we need as a child. We also need throughout our entire life. And the second group of core emotional needs are autonomy, competence, and a sense of identity. So an ability to function independently and feel like we can function and get things done for ourselves, and that we have a sense of ourselves as an individual. Another set of needs includes freedom to express your needs and your emotions. So the idea that we can say how we feel and what we need, and this will be heard and understood by the people around us. Another group of needs is spontaneity and play. So we actually need this as humans. We need to be able to have fun and experience pleasure and experience the freedom of playfulness. And at the same time, another one of our needs is the ability to set realistic limits and control ourselves, to be able to feel like when it comes to our impulses, our desires, that we actually have learned how to control this so that we can get things done and we can function as a human. So we learn how to meet all of these needs, and these needs are modelled for us both within the relationships that we have with our caregivers and also what we observe in them. So we look as children, we're trying to make sense of what it means to be a human, even if we're not consciously aware of that yet. And the first people that we look to, of course, are our caregivers, so the people that we are around us. And we kind of develop a bit of a blueprint in our brain about, this is what it is to be human. So this is how we set our limits. This is how we play. This is how we're able to be autonomous. So, that they perhaps... it's modelled to you that actually it's safe to go out in the world and it's safe to explore things that you really like, and you can always come back and there'll be a safe relationship for you. Or perhaps when you go out and you play and you do other things in your environment, perhaps the caregiver isn't there, so it's not safe for you. So all these experiences that we have early on are really forming our sense of what it means to be a human and what it means to be human in relation to other people. So, obviously, this there are lots and lots of domains that you're learning to be a human, and essentially what happens as you develop this blueprint or this schema, this influences how you see events that follow. So, for instance, if you learn from your parents that or your caregivers that when you do something well, they give you lots and lots of attention and lots of love, right? And remember, one of your core needs is love and attention and stability, right? So this is teaching you that actually doing well and performing well is going to meet your needs. So what happens when you start school, right? You then think, well, look, this is actually really important. This is something that I need to do in order to get love and attention from my parents. So then you really place a lot of importance on doing well, and that affects your behavior. It affects what motivates you. It affects how you relate to other people. And then you can imagine when you don't do well, right, you might feel really anxious and really triggered about that because it connects with your underlying belief. And the important thing about this is that it's actually all completely subconscious, right? So it's not something that we carry around believing in our minds. It's something that sits beneath the surface, beneath our awareness, but influences our behavior. So the way that I like to think about schemas is with each of the beliefs, with each of these experiences and blueprints that we're developing, it's formed. There's an origin, so it's formed with probably an original experience that we've had that we might not even remember, and then this original experience influences the way that we experience and encounter relationships and situations in the future. And then we might have another experience which is connected, another memory which is connected to this, that reinforces this schema. So maybe it's when we get lots of love and praise when we do well at school from our parents, right? And then equally there might be another experience that reinforces the converse. So they feel detached and distant from us when we don't do well. And so this repeats across time. And what you find is that, and what happens when I see people in therapy is that oftentimes they're experiencing something in their life, and all of a sudden they'll find that they're say they're really upset by someone who criticizes their performance, and they just don't understand why they feel so upset about this. And actually what's happened is that their schema has been triggered. So, right, we can trace that back to their early blueprint and their early formation of their schema. And this gives them so much control and so much insight into understanding what motivates their emotional experiences and their behaviors. And once you understand something, that's when you can start to kind of make some changes. So there are lots of different types of schemas, and there are lots of different ways that these needs can be met or unmet, and this can form different reactions and different patterns. And so in therapy, something that we do is we work to help clients to understand their patterns, their schemas, and how this is influencing how they feel in the current moment. That's just a bit of an overview. It's there's a lot more complexity to this, and if you're interested, then I might do some more videos just talking specifically about particular schemas. So that's all for now, and take care.